Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest here, and welcome to our October 7th, 2024, 3:15 p.m. Eastern live event. Philip and David are with me today. Gentlemen, thank you for joining and supporting the show and helping out.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone, to all those listening. Hi, Philip.
Hello, everybody. Hey, David.
Welcome, welcome. So today up on your screen is our topic that we're going to discuss, which is disability appeals. Encouraging you to keep your case moving if you have unfortunately been denied or do get denied. So in the past few weeks, we have covered prior events leading up to this, like what you need to apply for your disability benefits, how to file a successful initial application, what to do when you have applied and you're waiting for benefits. Those three areas all have distinctly different action items that have been covered in our previous live events. So encourage you to go over on our YouTube channel and just look for the live feature and check those out. So today, if you're listening and you haven't applied or you're applied and waiting, I hope you don't get to this point. You follow everything and execute properly, and you do not end up at the with your initial application being denied. But in the unfortunate event again that you do, we're going to cover the action items. So that's what we have in store today. So David and Philip are going to monitor some of the questions that are submitted in our YouTube chat. This is also being broadcast on Facebook. So if you have questions relative to the topic today, or when we've gone through those, we'll take any disability related question when if time permits. And we're going to open the phone lines as well to answer those. Right? Okay, we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are.
Good, good. So our goal here of doing this and coming out with you and putting on these events is to be a trusted resource for you for Social Security disability information. Here at the Disability Digest since 2006, we have been focusing on three areas of the disability benefit system, helping you understand if you qualify and how to get approved fast, hopefully. Then once you're approved, we work with individuals to help you understand how to keep your benefits and how to maximize your disability benefits. So of course, today is for the approval process. Maybe if you're already approved, if you know of somebody that is in need of this or thinking about applying, this could definitely help them. All right. Okay, so you've applied for your disability benefits and you've received one of those dreaded letters that says your disability benefits have been denied. And they typically say in the letter, we've reviewed your medical conditions, and although we understand you have some limitations, we believe that you can do some type of work that's out there. That is the standard language that is in a disability denial. On the first page on the top, and then on the second page, and maybe the second, but depends how long your denial letter part is. But some of the key parts in the back part of the letter is going to explain we have requested medical records from these doctors, and it will list your doctors. And we received medical records from these doctors. So we're going to get more into this in a moment. But so that's some of the key information in your denial letter that's out there. So how we can help you here at the Disability Digest is we have a no-cost membership that you can join. I'll cover more about that at the end. Go to the Disability Digest, join, fill out your profile. And when you complete your profile, it'll help us understand where you're at. Maybe you've applied and been denied, which would help us help you get into this segment of information. Or maybe you're just getting started or you're already approved, but your profile definitely will help you out. And then once you're in, we have courses that will guide you with all aspects of the disability process. But relative to approval, we have a specific section of our disability approval course that I'm going to cover with you today that teaches you how to file your reconsideration appeal. So I mentioned the prior topics that we covered in the past weeks. Those all have individual sections. So for today, this is the disability approval course, the third part of it for reconsideration. And down here, there's a video at the top that's going to sound a lot like me and go through these steps that are in here. But here is the strategy for your reconsideration appeal. Now, listen, if you are listening to this and using a disability representative, I sure hope you tune in and make sure you understand what needs to be done for a successful appeal so that you can make sure that the work is being done for you. Otherwise, how are you going to know? Okay. All right, so here's some of the key things to look for. You want to find fault, first of all, with Social Security and their decision. And one way to do that is if, for example, you have 5 doctors that you submitted at your initial application, and they requested medical records from all 5 of those, but they only received medical records from 3, and one of them was your primary care. The medical records weren't returned, and the other one was pain management. So they made a decision on your case on 3 out of the 5 doctors, 2 of which were really important. So that right there can give you the leverage for a good appeal. Okay. Going a little bit more deeper into this, granular into this, if they'll list in your decision letter the conditions that they understand that you have. And if you have a condition that is considered severe, and this is kind of a 2-part, it's like the second one on the list and the last one. If you have a condition that is considered severe, like you have severe chronic pain as a result of a degenerative disc disease versus a mild or moderate pain, or if you have severe depression versus mild or moderate, but they didn't recognize it as severe, that's another area that you want to make note of for your appeal. Next is limitations. We talk a lot about communicating limitations and journaling and bringing your top limitations to your doctors and getting them into your medical records. If this is not clearly communicated and they're not seeing this in the denial letter and it's not mentioned, like for example, I had somebody who has been, give you an example from yesterday. Individual was a welder, been a welder for at least 13 years, comes to mind. And is no longer able to do welding work because it doesn't allow him to sit. He actually has to go out into the field and perform welding, sometimes like climbing or bending or stooping. But so it's just the chronic pain and the degenerative disc disease that he has doesn't allow him to do it. So in that situation, if those limitations of his standing are not in the decision and not communicated, then that's something that should be pointed out, because this individual now can only, I forget exactly, it's like 15 or 20 minutes that it's limited to. So look for things that are inconsistent. And this goes back to all the way back to like the first segment of this that we did, how to do a successful initial application, and understanding how to communicate that you qualify for disability. If you miss that part and you're going through the application and you're communicating your conditions, like I've got degenerative disc disease, I've got a torn rotator cuff, I've got, a lot of headaches, you're just stating your conditions, this isn't going to work because you don't understand what you need to communicate to start with. Okay. I might sound a little annoyed, but I continue to find people that have access to this disability approval course, and it's really the same information, the fundamentals that we use to represent disability cases. But of course, the difference in the results are significant because, we do it day in and day out. And some people, like a book, they get it and maybe 10% of them complete it. I don't know. But I'm going to hit pause on my rant so I can go on and finish this. Folks, I see the numbers are piling in here, which is wonderful. And if you missed the beginning of this, it's recorded and you can listen to the first part that I've covered, which is important. Few key parts left. You can file your appeal online in our disability approval course. There's a link here. You can click, go in and file it. If you're appealing it on your own, you're going to need the forms that are mentioned on the screen: SSA 561, 3441, and Form 827. They're all public forms that you can find out there on the internet. You need to fill those out successfully and get those in your appeal. But also the most important part of your appeal is going to be your statement. And the statement is based on the information that we have discussed in item 1, what you do not agree with, right? Remember, you're looking to find fault. So here in the course is a sample statement that you can use. And of course, modify this to your own case. And in other live events like this, we've taught you how to use free like Chat GPT tool to create a prompt where you could go in and say, I'm a Social Security disability applicant. I got denied. I'm at the reconsideration phase. I'm going to file my appeal. I'm looking for a statement for my appeal. And then to follow is a statement that I have. Would you please complete and correct the grammar? So you can modify this sample statement here with your limitations. Make sure they're correct and consistent with your medical records, and ask ChatGPT to cook you up something. And boom, there you go. You can do it all on your own, right? So that is the premise of an appeal. Look for something wrong, understand that you have 60 days to submit your appeal, understand the paperwork, and a sample statement. So if you're having somebody do this for you, you want to ask them, well, what do you see? What's the premise of the appeal? That's item number 1. When do you think you can get the appeal in? Because again, you've got the 60 days. And can you provide me with the sample statement that you're going to put in the appeal so I can understand like the case theory, which is the sample statement? They're going to think that, you've been going to law school or something. So that's the reconsideration premise. I'm sure there's questions on this because I see questions just piling in. There's a few other key points I do want to make sure that we touch on, but they may be part of the question. So I'm gonna mix it up, and we're gonna pivot to some of the questions that we have, and then if we don't cover some of the key things, I'll come back to them. Okay, how's that sound? So for those of you that are listening out there, you're welcome to enter your question into chat if you haven't already. We will also open up the phone lines in a little while so that we can take some questions. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to take a breath. Who's up with a question? Questions.
That'd be me for first.
Okay.
You go, Philip.
And first question is, why was I denied?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah. Like I did everything right.
Yeah.
Can't work. Yeah. I'm going to go back to some of the things that you should look for is missing or inconsistent information. And some of the things that I didn't cover in that is if they don't have information in your case file that really would be helpful, like if there's missing medication and you're on heavy narcotics, like the example of the welder, he's not able to weld anymore because to manage his pain, he's on some really heavy medication. So that would be one. Um, Another one is what other evidence do you have that would influence the decision? And that could be, I'll go back to the approval course here. It's a good question, Philip. Um, in the disability approval course, there is a section for doctor support. This is in every one of the courses, that shows you how to apply, and waiting. And these are residual functional capacity report forms that you bring to your doctor for both physical and like brain health, mental issues, and fill them out. So if you have evidence like this, or you followed the other evidence directions in item 1B to get support from coworkers or your prior boss, or we've had people that have written had letters written from organizations that they volunteer for. Information like that was not in your case file, that Social Security either said they received it, didn't put it in the file, or something happened. That's another reason that could cause your denial. So there's two major categories to answer the question. One is it wasn't clearly communicated, they didn't get it. Okay. And there are people that are legitimately qualified for disability, but they just don't get it at this initial application phase. So I've had an individual, I've shared this story before, John Green. It was on Long Island, stage 4 cancer, life-threatening. He was denied at his initial application, had stage 4 all through the medical records, had his life expectancy in there. Um, we worked on his reconsideration and he passed away before he was approved. But so they had the information, they just didn't get it. So that's one. Two is missing information. There's information that's not in your case file. Those are the two important ones. And the third is it wasn't properly communicated. And that's like with the John Green situation. So those are some of the whys about that. Good question. All right. What's next?
David is next.
Mhm. Well, my first question that I have here is that I've heard that most reconsideration cases end up denied. If I find myself in that situation, should I immediately appeal the decision? What's the best strategy moving forward after a denial at this stage?
Yeah, the best strategy is I have something here that I want to put on the screen and work from. Um, okay. So in preparation of this, and you may not be able to see this because it's a little fuzzy, I'll blow it up, but here's the thing that I want to go through is 14% did not take action at the reconsideration. And it shakes down all these numbers right here. But the key thing is the numbers are low. And it's like I mean, if you definitely, I encourage people, just trying to gather my words and think of the best way to say this, is just to keep moving forward, like the thumbnail, the first graphic that we showed, because the percentages here are low at this level, and it doesn't mean that you have a bad case. So I encourage you not to be the 14% that just don't take action. Rather, you're doing this, I fully expect, because you've been a hardworking individual, you have a sickness or an injury, and you just can't work anymore. And this is the game that we're playing. Okay. I want to see if I was on topic with answering your question, David. Yeah, no, maybe.
It is relevant. And maybe this person is also concerned about the timing. Should it be immediately?
What do you think the immediately is? Like appeal immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have 60 days. I don't see any reason to wait 60 days. I would encourage you to get it done as soon as possible. Those directions that I showed you, I mean, I don't know what it would take for somebody to do this for the first time, but um, you might be looking at an hour or two of work to get your appeal done and in. And the most amount of it's going to be is just getting your statement done and looking for things that were wrong.
I agree. And well, the same person asks, what states don't have reconsideration as a step?
Yeah, there's a list down here on this page, actually. Um, California, but I think there's now parts of California that do. But California's listed: Colorado, Louisiana, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania, Alabama, Michigan, Missouri, and Alaska. Those are the 10. So in these 10 states, you just skip that step. There's no reconsideration. You're just going to file a request for a hearing in front of a judge. And in my opinion, all of the country should do this. It's just another way to slow down the process of doing it. So, yeah.
All right, that document is very helpful.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes afterwards. Pin it. Yep. Okay. Um, what's next?
All
Philip, you got
right.
any?
Somebody with a lot of why questions today. Why is the win percentage so low?
Right. Right.
Why?
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 Why? So the national percentage for approvals at reconsideration is like 11.2%, 11.7%. The initial 36, and this one is 11.7. This is my theory, and it's just a theory based on the others that I work with in the industry. It's how the appeal uh, process is. And what I mean by this is when you do this, you're asking Social Security to reconsider their decision. So if you had a caseworker in an office, the local office, I'll use Burlington, Vermont here, her name is Sally, and Sally was your caseworker. Sally went through and she did the decision and all that. And Sally's great because she's been doing this for 4 years and 2 months, and she knows everything there is to know about Social Security disability. She makes a decision. So the reconsideration process is evaluated commonly by somebody else in that office. It could be Sam, Who knows Sally? They have cocktails Friday night at 5 o'clock, and Sam and Sally get along fine. So he's likely not going to want to rock the boat and tell Sally that she made a mistake on the decision and should have been approved. So those are some of the like administrative kind of quirks that I understand just make sense from others that we've discussed this as to why it's 11.7% of the time. Um, if you look at 36 at initial and 54% at hearing, why it's so low. Okay. Any other questions?
Go ahead, David.
Pulling up. I'm new to this process. Someone from our Facebook page asked previously. I'm new to this process, but if all the information is needed to prevent denial is already provided in the course, why do cases still end up at the reconsideration phase? What steps can we take to avoid this? I think
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Okay. So like what goes wrong? First of all, even the very best that do this work, there are if they work at initial application, the approval percentage is not 100. But I really like this question because this is like my personal experience based on my opinion. We provide you with all of the information, and we're out here and we answer questions. A lot of it comes down to the execution of people. And I've been in a lot of conversations that don't start out so hot because people have used our course and they're like, geez, Brian, it doesn't work. And then I start asking them questions. I said, all right, well, tell me in 2 sentences or less, like why it can't work. And I end up with a statement about their, conditions that they have. So my point is here is I is we provide you with the information and we provide you with the live events. And I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people just, it's not executed. I had a meeting earlier this week with one individual that's doing a fantastic job. She's still having a challenge getting approved, but Christine, I mean, she's on it and she understands and she's followed the information. And in situations like that, that's going to maximize somebody's chances for doing it. But here's the thing that I want to really zero in on this. The national average for getting approved at initial is 36%. I know what our internal like percentage is, which I don't reveal publicly. But it's significantly more. And I'll explain it this way. If you use the right tools and you apply them, you should be able to get like a 30, maybe even a 40% increase in your chances of getting approved. Either you do it or you have somebody do it. And that's just based on the numbers that we see. And why I feel this is so important now, it's the cost of getting it wrong has increased. And why the cost has increased is the fee structure after November 30th for a disability representative goes from $7,200 to $9,200. Well, if you do your initial application right, whether you do it on your own to save money, right, which is why most people do it, and they say that, but they don't execute properly, then they're stuck in a reconsideration. And at reconsideration on, it's really difficult to effectively represent yourself. There's a lot of nuances that need to be known. So this is a long answer to your question, but I guess what I'm really trying to get to is use the information because the price of doing it, you're not going to save any money. You're going to end up in a situation where you're going to need help um, because doing the higher stages and going to a hearing on your own, many judges won't even hear your case now. They're going to say, "Are you sure you want to be here without having a Social Security disability representative?" So that's how to avoid it. Do it right. Yes, do it right. Do it right. Do it right. Good. Okay. What else do we have for questions?
I got kind of a long one here. I'll try to
Good.
get through. I'll try to get through it as quick as I can. Y'all have to
All right.
bear with me. All right, this is from Michelle. I had my hearing a week ago. Judge gave hypotheticals for jobs and VOC, vocational expert, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
listed 3 jobs. Then she gave hypotheticals with my symptoms, and VOC expert said no to jobs. She does, however, want me to review my medical notes for any discrepancies. I know I have about a 50-50 shot chance, but does this sound favorable?
Boy, the part that's really interesting is the medical notes. I don't know what they're fishing for there. And if they are fishing for something and find it, that could cause a problem with your approval. What the no jobs, the fact that you the voc expert said that there's no jobs, that's good news, right? So I'm not directly answering your question. I just say one is good news. I don't know what's in your medical records or why they would have done that. And if there is information in your medical records that is possibly concerning, then if you're using a legal team, then there's a thing called weighted evidence. Maybe there's other evidence in your file, like maybe you had one doctor that you had bogus, like, you know, medical records, bogus, not a very professional term, but I think you understand what I mean. But you had 4 others that they're all solid and consistent. So then they can look at it that way. But keep us posted on that one. That's a really good question. We hope and pray for a positive outcome for you.
Yes. All right, one more here. Is it possible to qualify for SSI, SSDI while attempting to get diagnosis? I have been unable to work since the beginning of the year, and the only diagnosis I have so far is major depressive disorder.
Well, that's significant. If you have major depressive disorder, there's other variables like how old are you, what have you been doing for work, those things. But um, that could be enough to, to help you get approved. So with uh, with other diagnoses, that's a tough one. I mean, it's kind of like you're not able to work now, and you have the the depression. Um, what are the other ones that are undiagnosed, and are they severe enough to really influence? So here's my conclusion. Definitely pursue them because you want to have all of your conditions diagnosed and treated. That's a for sure. And if you're waiting to apply because you don't feel you have enough, um, based on what you're telling me, you should really get like, if you're a member here, reach out to us. We can learn more about your situation, do an evaluation, give you an idea of like, okay, maybe you should wait. Maybe you got something that's good enough to go on.
All right, Damon, I have one more here, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Sure, go ahead.
This one says, question for blindness cases. If I applied in July and I'm approved in October, does that count as my 5 month waiting period? Or is the 5 months waiting period after you're approved? Do you get back pay for the first 5 months?
Well, you get back pay. You don't get back pay for the first 5 months. So at the point in time where your vision meets the criteria that you qualify, that would be your first month. So Does it sound like that's July, Philip?
Let's see here. I have to go back. Yes.
All right. So if you call that your onset date of disability, I do my math this way, so bear with me. July, August, September, October, November. So December would be the first month that your back benefits would build up. So if your check was $2,000 a month, and you got approved in uh, February, so you'd have December, January, February of $6,000 of back pay. They do that right? July, August, September, October. Yeah, December, January, February, 3 months.
Yep. Correct.
Yep.
All right, Damon,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sure, thanks, Philip. Can you confirm, Brian, that they do CDRs for 62 years old uh applicants?
It's less likely the older you are, but I do know individuals as old as 64 that have received them.
Yeah.
Less likely. Yep. By the way, on the CDR note, I just read about this yesterday. They did put a pause on the continuing disability reviews, although there were some that were still getting out and getting done. But the pause button is going to be hit, and there will be no more. The pause will be taken off the first part of the year, and the volume of reviews are expected to continue.
It's an important news. And uh connected to CDRs, someone asked, uh, why is the SSA determining that I am no longer disabled when my condition hasn't improved and has possibly even worsened in the last 2 years?
Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder, is this a result of a CDR? Do we have any more information on that?
Yeah, yeah, it's about the CDR that was given to her.
Yeah. I don't know exactly, but it's not uncommon that somebody goes through a continuing disability review. I'm just going to back up a little bit. Every local Social Security office has a mandate to do a certain volume of these to send those out, and then I don't know what their percentage is to follow up on, but this is from Attorney James Mitchell Brown, who's guested here several times. And what they if if they send something out and you fill out a short or a long form and it goes back in and they take it to the next step, which is they review your medical records. So if they review your medical records, it could be that they don't see the severity of your condition, similar to what I just discussed for the reconsideration. And so it sounds like you need to prove medically that you're not able to work. And it's the similar process again to going through the approval process. So if you're a member at the Disability Digest, we have a How to Survive Your Continuing Disability Review course. You can just contact our support desk, or if you're not a member, you can join us. It's for members only. And it is put together with Attorney James Mitchell Brown. It has 10 segments. And even though you're at this stage where you've been denied, it will give you the understanding of what your options are next. And if you do want to appeal this, you can certainly do it on your own. There's not many people that do this work legally. We know of two, so if you have to explore that route, we could refer you to them. We just provide the course. But if that's something that you want to consider, we could just make sure you contact us at our support desk, and we'll help you out. Okay. Folks, just a heads up for next week. We typically have these events on Wednesday. I am traveling on Wednesday. I won't be able to make it at this exact time. So there either will be an adjustment of time or there will not be an event next week. Just monitor YouTube and you'll see when it pops up for the next live event. So, all right. Do we have anything else before we wrap up?
That's it so far.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. Well, listen, for the 174 of you out there on YouTube, I thank you for tuning in today and listening to this bit on reconsideration. I hope you find value in this and the other work that we do. Again, it's our focus here to be a trusted resource for you with your Social Security disability benefits. And invite you to come back and listen to the other videos. The best way that we've been able to help individuals out, in addition to having you watch all of the information, is if you join us or update us as a member at the Disability Digest. And up on the screen right now, you'll see there's our page with the green button. And the reason why this is the best way is that I think we've over 1,500 videos on our YouTube channel, and Philip Price runs a very successful Facebook group that offers general information. But what the difference is with the membership is when you click on the green button and complete your profile, this information allows us to better understand you and your needs and where you're located, what's going on with you and what you want to get done so that we can get you the right segments of the disability approval course. In some situations, you can talk to people, and there's consultations available if you want them. And your membership, there's no charge for it. And the reason why there's no charge for it is we have services that we provide. We're in the partnership program with YouTube where there's ads on some of our videos, and this funds our work, services, sponsors. So your membership, there's no charge for that. So that's definitely the best way that we can help you. Now, if you've been a member for a while and your case status has changed, so for example, let's say you started with us at initial, and then you unfortunately got denied and you're using the disability approval course, right in the disability approval course, you can update us in there. That's the best way. But if you can't find it or you lost it, which unfortunately happens, you can just come back to the Disability Digest. You can click the green button again and you can update us. And we'll be able to see the new information that you have and help you out. Okay, great. Good. All right, folks. Well, listen, that is it for today's show. Philip,
Brian, I have one quick
one quick public announcement.
public announcement I need to try to get out there.
Okay.
For those of y'all that are approved out there, and I'm sure you're getting all the phone calls, I'm getting them for the AEP, which is annual enrollment period for your Medicare coverage. Starting this month is the AEP, and you need to pay attention to some of the emails you may get announcing that. But what they do is send out the annual announcement for changes in your Medicare plans, and those are very important that you pay attention to those. So if you are a member with the Disability Digest, then that's part of the service that we provide is doing reviews of those annual enrollment period, your coverage to try to get you the best coverage out there available to you. So just remember to pay attention to that.
Right, right. Philip, thank you for bringing that to the attention because just to echo that, a lot of people are in their Medicare Advantage plans, which most are here, But what is being missed is they don't understand that that plan is only good for 1 year, right? Like,
Yeah.
right. So you, in your situation, the plan that you had for 2024, that same plan is changing for 2025. Yeah,
Dramatically. Yeah,
dramatically.
that's why
Wow.
to pay attention.
Wow.
You need to get, if you don't understand what you're looking at, hit us up here at the Disability Digest, and one of
Mhm.
the kids can try to help you
Right.
understand what's in those changes and how it's going to affect you.
Good point. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, great. On that note, folks, we are going to wrap up for the day. Thank you once again. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. Until the next time, make it a great day.
See y'all, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.